Hello, this is Phil Burgess here from Strongheart TV. We're here in South Africa, and today we're going to be going into Johannesburg to interview Wayne Price. Wayne is the managing director of Arnold's Africa, but he's also a former strongman champion and bodybuilding champion of this country. So without any further ado, let's go to the interview with Wayne, and we'll leave these lions and tigers here to get on with their day. Thank you for your time today, Wayne.
It's a pleasure, Phil. It's good having you with us here in South Africa.
It's been a great trip so far, and yeah, been looking forward to this interview. So just to start off, you've got a long history in the sport of strongman, winning in 1991 South Africa's Strongest Man and competing at World's Strongest Man 3 times. How did you actually get involved in the sport of strongman to start off with?
Well, that was obviously, as being in a traditional sport in South Africa as well as Australia and New Zealand, is obviously the rugby.
Yeah.
And I was playing rugby through my school career, into my career as a policeman, and while doing that, a friend of mine was involved more in the strength sport,
yeah.
And it was a bet.
Okay.
So he took me a bet that come do a man's sport, and don't forget about that, yeah. Rugby. And that's how and at the end of the day, I beat him at the actual event, yeah. And he decided he's gonna retire after that. Awesome! It opened a career and opened my my idea of the sport, which then led to me obviously to looking at the broad, yeah. at what is opportunity, because nothing more of that was really established in South Africa as a sport. We had the odd event here and there, and nothing really serious. Started engaging with overseas, with the International Strongman Federation, okay. And with Dr. Douglas Edmonds, and realizing that you have to be invited, you can't invite yourself.
Yeah, very true.
And I needed to obviously do something really spectacular, and that was the reason for in the 90s then when I pulled the Boeing.
Yeah, I heard that, yeah.
I set up the world record pulling the Boeing, but the main reason of the Boeing pull, I used every interview that I used, and I ended off with Wayne Price on the World's Strongest Man, and it obviously got these guys all excited and said, well, who are you to call yourself? I said, well, until you invite me, I am not. I'm just going to claim the title.
Yep, fair enough. That's one way.
And it was a bit of fun, but anyway, what it led to was my first invitation to compete in Finland, Helsinki.
Okay. Yep.
And it opened a career of 10 years, which was amazing. I mean, yes, I had the highs, and I won the fews, but I was very competitive. I loved the sport. I loved working with the athletes. You know, at that stage it was sort of the Magnus von Magnussens, the Danny Taylor, the Jamie Reeves, which was an incredible family to be part of.
Well, was there any particular athlete who particularly inspired you?
I really enjoyed, and I spent a lot of time with Gary Taylor from the UK. Travelled quite a bit with him. Manfred Hubel was also. Manfred spent a lot of time in South Africa.
Yep, I've spoken to him a few times.
So I got to know Manfred over here. Then obviously when we travelled, we started in the friendship grew, but each and every one of them was a unique relationship. You know, it's just something. I competed in the strongman. I competed internationally in the bodybuilding as well, and after winning the SA titles and then the IFBB and the super heavies, total different type of platform.
Definitely.
And I must tell you something. It was in Sydney. I mean, when we did the world record breakers with the event there. I just remember even that, the camaraderie that comes out to, and it reminds me of the event of the truck pull, Gary lending me his shoes. When the stones were loaded, the Bundanoon stones, and they just missed the record. In the interview prior to it, Gary actually predicted that I will take the record. And just because of the fact that I was able to see what they were doing, and they came and advised me and said, don't do this, and which led to the record.
Yeah, that's
it is a fantastic family to be part of.
And that's very true. You see that all the time with the pro strongman, that they're actually giving each other advice, which could actually be to their own detriment. So that's a wonderful thing with the sport.
I think that is. I mean, and you know what? That's a great platform to compete on. You know, and there's a rivalry, but there's a respect. And at the end of the day, any one of us knows that it could be a slip of a foot or a replace of a hand, which costs you seconds or points of a second, which can put you from a first to a sixth. But that doesn't make you a worse strongman. No. It just makes you a damn good competitive strongman. I mean, I remember once competing in the World's Strongest Man in Bahamas, and I ran a world record at that stage where the car roll wheel to wheel on the beach.
Yep.
And I ran early in the numbers, so because as you know, you grab a number, and I ran early in the numbers and broke the record, super excited, and finished 6th. That, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so 5 guys came after me and just smashed my record, boom, 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 and you know what? And it was the greatest, the greatest moment to be able to be with the guys, part of something like that.
Yeah. Were there any funny situations which happened?
Traveling with a bunch of strongmen is always funny. You know, when it comes to hotels, when it comes to B&Bs, and it comes to the size of the rooms, and it comes to rental cars and things like that. A lot of fun we always had was in the June, July within Scotland, when we go to the Highland Games, and it was a good opportunity to try out new events, because that was where Dr. Douglas Edmonds and Dave Webster and them tested a lot of the events that they would be coming into the World Stronger Man. And so it was a good opportunity to see and be exposed to the events. And traveling through Scotland, we had a blast. It was so much, you know, 4 big guys in a car traveling from Highland Games to Highland Games. It all just makes it so special. Miss it? Yeah, I do. I miss it quite a bit. Obviously, the reason for me not competing anymore is that I tore my pec off coming back from one of the international events, which obviously put me in a space at that stage. I then focused more on the business. Expanding our gym business, our promotion side of it. And then I realized, you know what, that's not just enough, and I got more involved as an administrator. Being able to be in a position where I could create the platforms that I enjoyed for other athletes, and it's been an incredible blessing for us.
And I'll talk a little bit more about Arnold's Africa in a moment, but when you did that transition from strongman to bodybuilding, how easy was that transition?
Well, obviously, I always try to, even as a strength athlete, I always try to keep a good condition. Within the body fat percentages and that, and the lifestyle that I maintained was obviously the regular meals and things like that, obviously, and carrying a lot of mass.
How much were you weighing when you were competing?
Well, you know what, I was competing about 145 to 150 depending on in the event. And then after that to the bodybuilding, I came back down and I competed on the stage at 126 kilos, which was heavy. I mean, I was a good solid super heavy. I really do believe that I would have loved to have taken it on further. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out that way. But the interesting thing is, I first dabbled in the bodybuilding as well, because I competed in a bodybuilding event end of 80s. And I came stone last. But what I came back off that stage it was the most amazing experience. And I said to myself, if I come back to it, I'm going to be coming back ready, and I'll make sure. So I stayed off the bodybuilding stage till 96. So which was a good nearly 10 years later. But I came back with a reason, and I want to enjoy what I have that same experience, but be able to be very competitive, which was successful, and I was able to win the titles.
No, that's awesome. So, what was the best title you won?
With the bodybuilding? I did the essays. I won the essay titles. I competed in the World Universe event where I came 8th. I stopped again because then I went back to the bodybuilding because I realized, you know what, I've been there. I've realized that I need to put on still more size. I still need to really condition up, using the strength platform as that basis. And then I was going to come back, and I wanted to really come back in the early 2000s, come back to the bodybuilding stage, and then nail it. And then obviously the interim of that, then I came back from an international strength event, as mentioned before, and then I tore my pec off, which obviously cosmetically stopped everything, and performance-wise it was also gone. All my pressing movements were shattered, you know.
No, that's awesome. But now you're running Arnold's Africa, and this year will be the 3rd year of Arnold's Africa. How did that come about?
Again, once I stepped into the role of administrator of the event and got involved in the official structures of the Olympic Council and the Sport Council South Africa, I was first of all within the IFBB Federation, started off as the PR for the Federation,
okay.
And then later to be elected as the president of IFBB, South Africa, Bodybuilding South Africa, as it stands within the membership of the Olympic Council. Okay. We had obviously through the events that we run, we select teams to compete at different international events. Yes. Our foremost is obviously the Worlds, the IFBB World Championships, and then we select invitational events as the Arnolds and the Diamond Cup and so on. So I actually then took a team of which my wife was a member. Okay. She competed in the body fitness figure, and she competed at the Arnolds. And I was fortunate to sit in the auditorium and to hear Arnold say that he would love to take his vision of what he calls a fitness crusade. Yes. At that stage, remembering it was already obviously quite extensive in Columbus. Yeah. It went to Brazil already. It was in Europe, in Madrid at that stage, which is now gone to Barcelona. And he indicated that he wants to really take this event to all the continents. Yeah. And be it may, it opened an opportunity, and opportunities happen. You know, that was at the right,
definitely do.
The right place, right time, type of scenario. I was able to start having conversation with Bob Lorimer, son of Jim Lorimer, and as you know, he's the partnership with Arnold in the whole global event. Yeah. And I started talking, and as it evolved, we were able to acquire the Africa Arnold's rights. And it's been an incredible partnership working with Arnold and the global team. You know, we got the Tony and we got Rafael and Nevis in Europe with Barcelona, with the European one, and Anna and Philippi in South America. It's again now become a global family.
Yeah, I can well imagine. Yeah. So what's it like working with Arnold and socializing with Arnold?
I think it's been an incredible experience. It's real. It's a lot of times it's real pinch yourself situation.
Absolutely, I can believe it.
You know, because again, and like we spoke earlier off camera, was that I grew up with the Arnolds as this hero. I mean, when I was training and things like that, I had Arnold's pictures up all in my cupboard and my door, my walls. And
I have the posters on my wall too.
You know, so we've all been there. We've all related to the incredible journey that Arnold has from a youngster to becoming a world champion in the bodybuilding, in the sport, but then becoming even further into the movies and into the political space. And amazingly, to work with Arnold, he's so down to earth. He's really a fun guy. He's got a great sense of humor, and what's nice about it is, you realize that we share so much of the same interest and passion with regards creating opportunity, just making it happen. Yep. I mean, Arnold continuously always says, I mean, with all his references, and a lot of it always comes out about he wants to get the guys off the couch and just get involved. Yes. Get involved with something, you know,
do something.
And that is something we really aspire to. And so even prior to actually acquiring and getting involved with Arnold, I mean, we were involved with the Gladiators in South Africa. We were involved with the Strongman, and we did a lot of road shows and we did a lot of country traveling. And it was all about introducing people to what we really love, and that is just getting involved, you know. Yeah. And Strongman as strength athletics, as a strength sport, I think was just the most amazing, and which is obviously we've seen over the years since I've been involved. You've seen functional training has become very popular.
That's very true.
You know, so you see the CrossFits and things like that. In those days, I remember the Royal Easter Show.
Yes. Yep.
The thing that excited me most about it, other than competing, was the lumberjacks.
The wood chopping.
The wood chopping.
Yep.
Oh, that was so
everybody loves the wood chopping.
that was so exciting. So yeah, I think it was great. But coming back to Arnold, you know what? It's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey so far, working with him. You know what? He's always there to support, and he's always there to advise and to give his support to what we're doing. And I think that means it all. You know what I mean? That I know that there's a lot still to come and a lot to happen still, and there's a lot of exciting things in the pipeline. So I think I'm just, you know, sometimes, like I said, it's one of those pinching situations where I think to myself, wow, I can't actually believe I'm actually part of it.
Yeah, no,
and totally blessed to be part of it.
Yeah, it's really amazing. Now, with obviously having Arnold's Africa here in South Africa. You've obviously got a lot of competitors and different disciplines who come from South Africa. How are you looking to involve more of the African countries in Arnold's?
I think one thing about our Arnold's being a startup event.
Yeah.
So we didn't have we didn't piggyback on existing event that like Tony was running, and he was able to do a name change.
Yeah, with the FitX.
So we had a total startup event.
Yeah.
But our strength was always the fact is that we engaged within the official sporting structures, and we were able to get their support and their buy into it. So our Olympic Council, SASCOC, and our National Sport and Rec Council, they all got involved, and obviously that led to our partnership and our involvement with our with the city of Joburg, but especially our partnership with our province, our host province, is Gauteng, which has been a tremendous partnership, and obviously the financial support to the event also makes a great difference. So from an athlete's participation side, we've always had a great support. So it's given us an opportunity to work on growing the expo, which we're still working on. I mean, we're not where we want to be with it yet, and it's going to be an ongoing process to grow with it. But with that said, now obviously with what we've achieved now in our 2 years, going into our 3rd year with it, has really taken note by the African countries.
Okay. Yep.
So I've been very fortunate as the president of Bodybuilding South Africa's IFBB to work with our African president, Dr. Adel Fahim, who sits in the northern Africa of Egypt. We have got all our countries and our presidents representing the bodybuilding fraternity in all the countries, which is obviously involved, which has now increased our amateur participation of the bodybuilding. So it's really obviously brought this to attention. So using that as a platform, we have now been able to engage with all the African countries, and we encourage our chairman and presidents of our existing sporting codes, because we got over 55 sporting codes, 60 sporting codes involved with the Arnolds. We encouraging them also to activate inside the Africa platform, because we want to spread the whole opportunity of the Arnolds. Other than the main event will obviously be always staying in South Africa, but we'd like to obviously create the pre and post events that will come from Africa and just increase the size of the Arnolds.
Absolutely. I know sometimes it's difficult getting visas from some of the athletes to come into South Africa. Things which could be different on some of the other continents. So you do have extra hurdles and that to go across.
Well, I think being Africa, we have our own challenges. So, I mean, it really does. I mean, obviously we speak to all the other partners, and I realize, okay, well, we don't have those challenges, but man, we do have our own challenges. But it's really been exciting. I think it's an exciting project to be part of.
Absolutely.
We've seen the results. We've seen the return on investment has been incredibly positive, and we are very fortunate because within the space of it, we have gone further and got a company to evaluate the event. And through their reporting system, we can see that we are achieving a lot of the goals we're setting out to.
And that's brilliant.
And obviously, then we also through that same evaluation can see the goals that we need to still work on.
No, that's awesome. So for 2018, are there any big pro bodybuilders or pro strongman names you can tell us who will be coming?
Well, we haven't. Obviously, it's always the final list is always finalised only later. A lot of the discussion is taking place. The Arnold Classic Africa, as we mentioned earlier, obviously with the split between the NPC and the IFBB, we kept it and decided as a partnership to keep it in the space of the IFBB because of the federation and the structures we involved with. So we'll obviously this year not have the Dexter Jacksons and that because of them being part of the NPC IB, the Pro League. We're obviously going to encourage and have more of the elite pros. And so we are having discussions with them, because remember some of the Pro League athletes have transferred across to the elite pro. But then again, we also have a great number of incredibly elite pros that have gone through the rankings of the IBB World Championships and have been pros. So I'm truly excited. I mean, our amateur bodybuilding event has grown incredibly. The numbers I foresee to be double.
Yeah. So roughly, how many numbers are we looking
well,
at?
we're expecting in excess of over 1,000 amateurs bodybuilding to compete. We have also on the platform of the Elite Pro, we've facilitated for 9 different categories.
Okay.
So we're expecting a good number of Elite Pros to come and compete in the event. And then obviously, you know, we've got all the other activations. You know, bodybuilding makes actually a small percentage of the actual Arnolds.
Yes.
Because I mean, we had this year past, we had 14,500 participants.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
So yeah, and if you put that in relation, Arnold, the bodybuilding side of it was only about 480, 500, 600.
Yeah.
You know, so it puts it in quite a different perspective. But obviously we know the origin of the Arnolds was around Arnold himself.
Absolutely.
And he has been an athlete.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, moving back to the amateur strongmen and strong ladies who will be coming to South Africa, is there anything you could say to the international amateur strength athletes out there to encourage them to come to the Arnold's Africa?
Well, I think the important thing is obviously what we're all trying to do is as a whole, with all the Arnold events, is to obviously do to develop and build the Arnold Strongman series, which is really been very successful. I mean, it's incredible to see how well it's taken, and obviously through the athletes competing well, and specifically now talking about the pro side of it, the professional side of it. The guys have to go to the other Arnolds, and through that they qualify to compete in the main event, which will be at Arnold Columbus.
Yes.
I think it's the most amazing opportunity. I think I would have loved to have it.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, what we did was travel all over the world, compete, and then obviously through your participation, you had either or not the opportunity to be invited to at that stage, which was the world's strongest man.
Yes.
Which is always an exciting event to be part of. Now, you know, you have so much more opportunity as a strength athlete. So for the amateurs, we love the fact that we can create that platform for them.
And can I just say, like myself coming to South Africa, it is an amazing country. So any athlete who's an amateur strongman who hasn't been here, they should come.
Well, besides the fact of them qualifying, you know, and getting themselves from an amateur to a pro, you know, I can tell you right now, that is the most common thing said about any athlete coming here, because I always come here and then it's obviously the additional travel is the safaris and just experiencing the Africa continent, you know, which is obviously something else. I mean, I've just been up to Vic Falls now, and what an amazing experience. But it's an opportunity for the athletes.
Absolutely.
And it's great to be part of it. We know we facilitated a 5-star venue. We got the partnership as co-promoter with Gerard van Staden, which is amazing. I mean, in the last 2 years, the growth we've seen in the amateur events has been phenomenal. And we do know that a lot of the athletes from the other continents are coming through to qualify, or have gone through their process to qualify and to become pros. So it's an event not to be missed, and we know sometimes it's a distance to travel, which I'm sure you can
I can relate to that.
relate to.
Definitely.
But you know, it's well worth the travel, and you know what we always say, we want it for all our athletes, and coming and traveling to the event, we want to give them the greatest Africa experience. And so obviously, with that said, we have a team dedicated to that, to be part of the add-ons, you know, to make sure that the people don't just come, compete and leave, but they experience Gauteng, see what the province is about, and then obviously experience South Africa as well.
That is awesome. Definitely. Now, just to finish up, could you leave us with the biggest lesson you have learned from when you started in this sport to now? What's been your biggest lesson?
My biggest lesson.
Or have you had a motto? What would it be?
I think my biggest lesson is never to give up. You know what? As an athlete, as a businessman, in the promotions of events, we all experience the reality of it. And as much as we always sit in and you sit around boardrooms and plan things, and as an athlete you plan things, you can't predict a muscle tear, which all of a sudden stops a 10-year professional strongman career just like that, and you lose all your sponsors and everything like that. And also in the promotions of events, you know. So I really truly believe the lesson learned is not to give up, because at a stage we went through some turmoil, and I always used to say to myself, you know what, never lay down, because you can't fight laying down.
Yep, very true.
You know, you've got to stay on your feet, no matter how wobbly you are on your feet. Stay on your feet, because at least you can take and duck the punches off the feet. And you know what, that philosophy has really carried me through a lot, because I've realized, injured, couldn't compete anymore, but so many other opportunities have opened up from that.
Well, that's right. Yeah, if you hadn't tore your pec.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, maybe I would have been competing at the Arnold's now instead of presenting.
Very true.
But you know what? It's such a blessing. It's such a blessing to be able to still live my passion. Yeah. Because that is it. It's still be able to live my passion just on the other side of the fence. Yeah. I'm there observing. I'm there creating. Do I have the sad moments when I at the Arnold's and I see the strongman and I see the bodybuilding? Yes, I do. And I do obviously have the thoughts, and I think, oh geez, you know what, I would have loved to be on that stage against these top guys. But you know what, it's just been as exciting and as much as a blessing when the guys come to you and say, well, you know what, thank you. Thank you for what you've done and what you've created. And you know, that's just been an awesome experience.
No, that's great. And thank you yourself for your time today. It's been a really great interview. Thanks.
It's a great pleasure. Thank you.